Should be interesting. I'm on speaker here. Hello, sir. So Jones here. You phoned me earlier today?
One second, mate. Let me just get inside the car. We'll be there then.
Alright, okay.
How are you doing?
Not well. Well, I was going to say that's about absolutely terrible. Yeah.
I was allocated the inquiry that you reported as regards to Andrew James bailiff.
Yeah.
The reason I haven't spoke to you beforehand is because the officers that spoke to you last night
Yeah.
Basically asked me to hold off because it was part of the inquiry, which obviously ended up with you being where you were last night, you know?
Yeah.
What I want to discuss is that didn't cover all avenues last night. Obviously, I know you were given a simple caution looking for harassment, whatever it was.
Oh, basically, they've done me there, right? They kept me awake all night. It'd been more than 24 hours since I slept. They withheld my medication. I wasn't really in a fit state to think straight. I just wanted to get out there. To be honest, I just soaked my old grand to get out of there, right? Because it was so stressful, and I just done everything they wanted me to do, and I really regret signing that caution, and I'm going to look at seeing if I can sort of retract it and possibly get charged instead, because I would rather get have an audience in court, because I don't believe that he would get a prosecution.
Right, okay, so that's completely massive yourself. I'll be honest, I've only briefly looked at the circumstances and only briefly saw what it was that you were saying to do and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's a matter for you. I don't think you can retract the caution after it's been administered, but you know, that's something you can speak to a solicitor and take up with them, you know, if that's what you wish to do, Chris, you know.
Yeah.
I can understand if you feel that you've been hard done by, for want of a better phrase. I can't think of what I'm from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, isn't it? If you feel that you've been if you're pissed off by it, let's put it so bluntly, if you're pissed off by it.
Say again, sorry.
If it is the fact that you're fed up and pissed off about it, then seek advice. It's as simple as that.
And they didn't have a warrant to enter the property last night. They told me they didn't need one, and I went along with that, but I've looked into it today, and they did in fact need a warrant, and so they've misled me there, really.
What's that bit again?
They came in my house last night. I told them I didn't want them here. They said they could come in. I said, you need a warrant. They said, no, we don't. They took my PC away, my laptop, my camera, my phone, and I said, look, you need a warrant for this. They said they didn't, and you know, I don't know, so I just went along with them, but I found out since that it was a lie. They did need a warrant.
Yeah. Were you arrested, were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't have needed a warrant. If you were arrested, basically,
Yeah.
the police would have to search for evidence related to the offence that you've been arrested for at that time. So, was there something to do with a YouTube video or something like that? You'd uploaded a video?
Yeah, I did. And then as soon as I was asked to take it down, I did, you know.
Yeah. So basically, you know, whoever came there last night, I don't even know who the officers were, but they wouldn't have needed a warrant, and they'd have the powers to seize laptops or phones, whatever it might have been. But ultimately, somehow we've got to resolve what's going on, isn't it? You've still got the hassle of the original complaint against.
Yeah, basically, he put a complaint in the police about me, right? And he falsely claimed, which we established last night, that I followed him, and he gave a fair detailed documentation of the exact movements, how I followed him from this place to his house, right? And Nick Mitchell phoned two independent people and verified that was impossible, because I drove actually a different route to his property. I come clean with him and told him basically I know where he lives, not because I followed him, but because of two people very close to him furnished me with that information. His stepdaughter and his stepdaughter's ex-partner, right? One of them, Nick Mitchell, spoke to, and he verified that is true. And I actually, because I came up from the other direction, I came up from the Shepherd's direction, and I was trying to find his property. He was able to establish that I phoned at the time, but I was supposed to be following Mackay from the other direction, to sort of clarify where the house was, you know. So it's impossible to be in two places at once. He's actually told, he's told a lie on a Section 9 statement. That's perverted the course of justice, and that I've been informed. Because that is like a sworn oath, that is, right? Your Section 9 statement. And lying on that is exactly the same as perjury. And he's done that. I'm going to look, because of what he put me through last night, I'm going to be looking to try and get him prosecuted for that. Because nothing I said was a lie. I was completely honest right through the interview. But what's really ironic is that, although it's not a crime, he brought it up about me trespassing and that, and he's hand-delivered a solicitor letter to me, and in order to deliver it to me, he's trespassed on my property. I didn't go on his property, I only posted it in his letterbox. He actually walked across my lawn. I got him on CCTV, didn't even follow the path, he just walked straight across the lawn. But what was really worrying was Friday morning, Thursday night, a bloke came up me outside the Old Inn pub in Pentrigare and said, look, friendly warning, you want to stay away from this bloke. You know, I can't remember the exact words he said, because I'd had a good food to drink. But he basically told me, stay away from him, you're not doing yourself any favours, you're going to get yourself serious problems here. Stay away from him, it's my advice. Friendly word like. So I said, alright. When I got up Friday morning and to leave for work, right, it didn't trigger me straight away, but when I pulled out my drive, I never parked my van in my drive, but for whatever reason, I did on Friday. I pulled out the drive, and two white vans, the same as mine, I didn't get the registrations. They drove up the road, and I just didn't think anything of it. I went into petrol station in Pentrigare from the school side, right? And that's the way I always go in. I fill up with diesel, and I usually do like a U-turn in the forecourt. I drive round with the air pumps and things like that for tyre pressures. But two white vans were there, and I made eye contact with one of the drivers. There was two persons in each vehicle, and I made the front vehicle. I made eye contact with the driver, and I thought he looked a bit strange. And then it dawned on me then that they pulled out behind me on my roads, and I thought, hang on, are these following me? So I drove to the motorway roundabout. I went around the motorway roundabout, the once, all the way around. They followed me. I drove around a second time, and they followed me. And the third time then, as I got to the Pentrigare turning, I slowed down, and as the lights went amber, I put my foot down, I went through. I went round the roundabout again, and I lost them. And I didn't see them since. Oh, they're not interested. Oh, no, that's a separate matter. You reported that. Someone will be in touch with you about that at a later date. But I kept trying to bring it up all the time, but they really weren't interested. I've been fitted up big time here.
Well, all I can suggest, Chris, is whatever that's last night, I can only sort of guide you on what they've done right or wrong. I wasn't there, I don't know what's totally gone on, mate, but if you feel aggrieved,
yeah.
to speak to the sergeant that's take charge of the boys or the girls who came and dealt with you last night. They're on at 10 o'clock tonight.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna make a complaint to the IPCC because the way it's treated. They put me in a cell first of all, with all urine all over the mattress and the floor, and I actually just stood up for 2 hours because I didn't want to lie down. I didn't have my shoes on, so I had my socks, right? I asked for a drink of water, and he told me to have a drink from this spout above the toilet, which I bet you 90% of people who had to pee in that toilet have peed on it. Absolutely disgusting. It's bloody not really hygienic.
That's what held down, isn't it, unfortunately?
Yeah, but you know.
You know?
Yeah, but then, you know.
I know where you're coming from, Chris. I know where you're coming from. It's not a pleasant experience.
They took my jacket off. It was absolutely freezing. It was really cold last night. They didn't give me a blanket at 7 in the morning. They withheld my medication. I asked 8 separate occasions for my medications. And they wouldn't get. They basically said, "Oh, if you were here a long time, we'd get them, but you're going to be out any minute. You're going to be out any minute." And I ended up there 12 hours. If they told me I was there 12 hours, right, I could have laid down and sort of put it back in my mind and had some sleep. But they kept giving the impression I was going to go any minute, and it's like psychological torture. Every time I asked them to put the light off, it came back on 5 minutes later. So I couldn't even close my eyes because the lights are so bright in there. It was awful, absolutely awful.
Make an official complaint to the inspector in the first instance.
Yeah.
And then the boss man or lady then will refer it if he or she deems it necessary to do so. Alright, buddy? So if you feel aggrieved, you know, I'm a realist. If that's how you feel and you feel like you've been mistreated, then make a complaint. It's as simple as that. Only you know how you feel, and only you know whether you've been sort of treated right or wrong, isn't it? I can't really say anything on towards that. What I can do in relation to the complaint that you made about him harassing you, to be honest, at the moment, that's kind of been blown out the water by the fact that you were given a caution last night, because obviously one negates the other. Does that make sense to you?
Well, not really, because it's like, do you know, like, if he's acting entirely within the law, right, and trying to get me prosecuted, he shouldn't be acting outside the law himself, should he? Well, getting people to follow me. That's harassment.
That's what you think, but how are you going to prove that it was people that think to this guy?
I don't know.
These are the questions you've got to answer, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's the thing, innit? I mean, but it's like, it's a bit odd, innit? The guy says me in a pub one night, and the next night then they're there, like.
But I'm with you on the set, but it's not what we know, it's what we can prove.
Yeah. Has he got trackers in his van? You could prove it then, couldn't you?
I doubt he's got trackers in the van, but if you look at what you've got a couple of vans following you, and you think it's him, and then look what he adds is in the YouTube video and whatever else it was. Sometimes it's not what you know, it's what you can prove, and that's the problem, isn't it? Can I suggest, Chris, right? Give the boss a ring.
Yeah.
If you wish to make a complaint, then, you know, every month of Sundays would I turn around and say, oh no, don't be so stupid, don't do that. If you feel that you've been aggrieved, give the inspector a ring in Swansea Central, and he or she, depending on who's working, will just try and resolve it with you, and they will go through the appropriate channels.
Yeah.
In relation to everything that's gone on with the bailiff, have you spoken to the solicitor about it?
No, I don't want to sort of sound like a knob, but he's a very powerful man in Swansea. Any bailiffs I deal with in Swansea will just be his mates in his club, and I won't get anywhere with it. He's a very, very high-ranking Freemason, and that's probably another reason why I was done last night. You know what I'm saying?
I was a police officer I've been a police officer 17 years, and yes, people say that, but under my heart, those days have long gone. Nothing like that goes on anymore. You may think differently, but
but
I'm not in a position to comment.
I wouldn't say like the lower ranking police officers, but it's the high ranking ones, isn't it? The ones behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Listen, it's obvious you're fed up and you people. I mean, I totally understand that, alright? Speaking of phone 101, which is like the non-emergency number now for Swansea Central.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to make a complaint, make a complaint. Or alternatively, the sergeant who's in charge of the boys that would have dealt with you last night, they're back on duty at 10 o'clock tonight. And
Right.
you could speak to them directly and see if you can resolve it to them in the first instance. Completely a matter for you, Chris, alright?
Yeah. All right then. So.
What I would say is, at this moment in time, you may not like this bit, and I'm a realist and honest. At this moment in time, because of what happened last night,
Yeah.
it kind of blows up your complaints that you reported the other day, you know, to us, to the Cosignan police. Yeah?
Yeah.
I was speaking to my boss, my sergeant, about it. And that's why I wanted to give you a ring, because what he wanted me to do was just to finalise your occurrence, the fact that, well, with the bigger picture, with a complaint to the other side as well, it's all been dealt with. But I wanted to speak to you myself, because there's always two sides to a story, isn't there?
Yeah.
Just to give you a version of events. But from the incident reported to us at the moment, that's going to have to be, I've got this out to my hand, that's going to have to be finalised for now.
Well.
If you've got any more problems, then you just keep a record of what's going on,
Yeah.
and report it as and when, you know?
Yeah. Well, what about the original complaint I had now, which is why I sort of went down there and done the YouTube video. A bailiff came around my property, right? Clamped my motor vehicle in my drive on my private property, right? Which only a magistrate appointed bailiff can do it. Normal county court appointed bailiff is not allowed to do it, right? He told me he was allowed to do it. So he obtained money off me by deception, right? So he's told me that he is allowed to do it, and it turns out he's not allowed to do it. Also, he's not allowed on my property because I've got a clearly displayed notice, right? Which I spoke to him and asked him, has he seen it? And he said it means nothing, right? I've got photographic and video evidence of him on my property clamping my vehicle. Right, so he has obtained money by deception, right? There's no other way of looking at it. It's fraud, right? It's purely and simply, it is a crime, and there's no other way of dressing up civil or anything. He obtained my money by telling me he was entitled to what he said he was entitled to, but he wasn't in reality. And I've got various acts and statutes and case laws that back up my claim. I've written them all down, I've got them, I've served them on him. He chose to ignore it.
You need to speak to a solicitor first. You need to go and speak to a solicitor, because ultimately the trespass...
No, I'm not talking about trespass now, because that's civil. I'm on about the fraud, the money by deception part.
But you owed him the money for a reason, didn't you? I'm guessing.
I had a parking fine, 35 quid, which I was contesting with the council, and they decided to have this third party interloper intervene in my private affairs. All those kind of things are civil matters, right? But there's a criminal aspect to it, and that is, he came to my property without a signed warrant. The police officer showed me the warrant last night. It's not signed, right? It needs to be signed by a judge or a magistrate. It's not, right? He came on my property, made it out to me that he was entitled to what he is entitled to, but he wasn't. My notice outside informs him that he's not entitled to without a court order, which is a fact. And he did it anyway. And he made me think he was allowed to do it. So therefore, he obtained money by deception. It's fraud.
Well, I know it's fraud. But have you spoken to the council?
The council just send me the standard letters. They're going to address any of the points I make.
They just sent you a standard letter saying what, sorry?
They don't address any of the points I've been making. They just send this. They've acted in accordance with section whatever. They don't address any of my points. Right? If I'd invited him on my property and he levied goods, right, that would have been allowed. But I wasn't even here, right? He levied my goods when I'm not here. He clamped a motor vehicle, which only a magistrate appointed bailiff is allowed to do, right? And he told me he had a signed court order, which he did not. I've got all this on video. So he has obtained money by deception.
Right. What you need to do is
Yeah.
go back to the council in the first place, because it's still a civil matter at the moment. Because at the moment, what you're alleging is...
Why isn't this a criminal matter then?
Because it's not yet, because you said to me, right, that the police needed a warrant last night. They didn't. So you're wrong on that fact, okay? So I don't know what warrant was or wasn't signed.
Yeah.
I don't know, other than what you've just told me, I have no idea what has gone on or why you've initially started to have to be involved with this guy. All I'm saying is to go through the appropriate and the correct channels. It could be the fact that the warrant was issued by the court and they're not signed. I don't know. It's not my field. I don't know. If it is a case whereby it should have been a signed warrant by a magistrate, and he has told you something which is incorrect, and you know it because the powers that be, i.e. the council, have told you so, then yeah, come back, it's a criminal matter. But at the moment, this is just a supposition. It's just what you think, because it doesn't appear to be right.
Is it? Aren't you supposed to investigate that sort of thing, though?
Say that again, sorry.
Aren't you supposed to investigate that yourself?
No, because at the moment, you were saying that he's come on and he had a warrant with him which wasn't signed. Yeah?
Yeah, but he told me on the phone it was signed. He got a signed warrant. I said, it's signed by a judge or magistrate. Yes, he said. And I said, well, I still don't believe you're allowed to clamp my vehicle on my private property. He said, yes, I am, but she is not. And I said, I don't believe you're allowed to be on my property when I've got a notice saying that there's no trespassers allowed. That's meaningless, he said. It doesn't stand. So he's told... This was on the 1st of November 2012.
So, did you report it at the time?
I've gone to the police station, Swansea Central, tried to report it, right?
Right.
And again, I got video evidence of this. And they wouldn't take my statement. They said it's a civil matter, they're not interested. And I give them the acts. I showed them the acts, the relevant acts, and the case law where bailiffs have been prosecuted in the past for the very same actions. Right? And you know case law, as you know, I don't need to tell you, when a judge makes a decision and a similar circumstance comes up, that's case law, isn't it? Right? So, a couple of these are exact scenarios of what's happened to me, but they still wouldn't take my statement and investigate the crime.
What you need to do then is obtain a copy of this warrant, which isn't signed, to prove that it's factually incorrect, and that is, you get that by going to the council, mate. You know, if you've tried to report it, you know, time and time before,
Yeah.
nothing's going to change from a police investigation's point of view at the moment, Chris.
No.
Because you are no further down the line from November to now, isn't it? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you get the evidence, if you get a copy of the warrant or, you know, a copy whatever, then perhaps, you know, we can move things on, mate. But
Yeah.
can I make some suggestions?
Okay.
You haven't got to do them, but it's completely just me thinking out loud as a police officer and as a human being. It's obviously you feel that you've been aggrieved, first of all, by the bailiff company,
Yeah.
and then by the way what happened last night, yeah?
Yeah.
Quite possibly the best way to try and resolve all of it, because the officers, did you say it was Nick Mitchell? Did you say Nick Mitchell?
Yeah, he's the arresting officer. Yeah.
Obviously, Nick Mitchell would have been, he would be in possession of a lot more information than I've got in relation to the bailiff's company, the warrant, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if I was in your shoes,
Yeah.
and you couldn't got to take my advice, but if I was in your shoes, I'd be speaking to Nick Sargent tonight,
Yeah.
explaining the circumstances to her, because it's a female, it's Sergeant Donny, her name is,
Okay.
and sounding her out and saying, well, listen, you know, it all started back in November because of this reason. There was, you know, I think that he hadn't had the correct procedure. You know, he did have a signed warrant, and then everything that's happened last night. One, she's a higher rank than me, so she'll probably be able to sort it out. Two, she's going to have more information because obviously Nick Mitchell is her officer, and she would have sort of supervised what was going on. From that point, at least you've got the starting point to move forward from. Because at the moment, you're in limbo, and you kind of, you've been given this caution last night, which you now want to retract.
Yeah.
There's incidents you tried to report back in November, which have gone nowhere. So you're kind of in no man's land. Do you see what I mean?
I feel like, a peasant in the Middle Ages, and I got a rich landlord, and I got a problem, and the magistrates. I feel like that, Well, I can't get justice because I got no power. I'm a straw man with no power, and there's this big man with loads of power, and he rules the roost. He's the Lord of Manor. He tells the police what to do. That's how I feel.
Yeah, and you're going to feel like that because you feel like you've been hard inside. I totally appreciate it, and I sympathise with you, because I can imagine it's not a nice way to be feeling it, is it?
No.
But if you want to take my advice, it's up to you. But if that is, speak to the sergeants in charge of Nick last night, see if they can resolve the matters, and they'll be better guided to answer the questions about what's going on.
Right. I'll speak to him now, and then...
Yeah, and if you feel that doesn't get anywhere, then phone the inspector and make a complaint.
Yeah.
And see where you go from there, mate.
All right then. All right, thanks.
If
Yeah.
you come back with more information and you've got proof of any wrongdoing, then take it to a police station, take it to police officers, and say, instead of just your words and your obviously you've done a lot of research on this.
Yeah, lots.
You've done a lot, you're on about case law and stuff like that. But if you turn up and say, well, this is a warrant, it isn't signed, and with this the act of whatever they work under, it shouldn't have been, then people are going to listen to, but well, it's just words and your thoughts, and this is what you think has happened, you're already a step behind it, you're not going to get very far.
No.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, all right. Well,
I wish you luck, pal, because you sound as if you're mega fed up, so I truly wish you luck. But,
I got a criminal record now, and I'm still financially down, like,
It's not a criminal record. You've got a police caution, and that's not the criminal record. It's something completely
The
different.
guy said it's on my records, and I'm 101, he said.
Yeah, but it's a police caution. It's twofold. You haven't been to court, so you haven't got a criminal conviction, you've got a police caution. It is on a record. Clearly, same as that, the fact you've got a TV license is on a record.
Yeah.
But you haven't got a criminal conviction. It's a police caution, and the gravity of the difference is quite large.
Well,
So I wouldn't worry too much about
I might get problems going abroad to American holidays and things now, though, isn't it?
No, you won't. You
No?
definitely won't.
All right, okay.
No, you're stressing about things which won't happen, mate. I assure you that, alright, Chris?
Right,
Okay,
okay.
I know you've gone through a tough time. You are stressing about stuff that you're not going to have problems with. But if you want to make a complaint, speak to the Sarge tonight. And if she can't resolve it, speak to the inspector.
Right, okay. What did you say your name was again, sorry?
My name's Paul Thomas. I work down in Gosline, and I do.
Right, what's your calling number?
3549.
All right, thank you. Cheers, pal.
Alright, Chris.
Thanks.
I think just to let you know, the incident that you reported in Gosline, and that's going to be finalised for now, mate. I don't know whether you agree or disagree, but if you come back and things change,
Yeah.
let us know.
What was the incident? What was the incident number again? I wrote it down in the van. I'll write it down now.
Hang on, 1 second. What's the number that you reported to us down here, is it?
Yeah.
Hang on, mate. Hang on. I'm not in the deck, I'm out and about that, but I've got it written down in my books. Right. I have 2 minutes. Number 9, you aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, but your reference number that I've got is 62
Yeah.
13
Yeah.
01
Yeah.
14
Yeah.
564.
Lovely. All right, thank you.
And that incident relates to the fact that you've phoned to say that the Bayer companies are harassing you.
Yeah.
And just so you understand, I think my phone's going flat here. Just so you understand the rationale behind my boss finalising that is the fact that you were dealt with last night and you were given a simple caution as the other one. try and resolve that, mate. And if you can or can't, and you're not happy, make a complaint about what happened last night. And if you have any other problems off the bailiff company, document them, keep a record, keep a diary.
Yeah.
If you've got CCTV, keep it safe, keep the integrity of everything.
Yeah.
And build a little case.
Yeah.
If that's you got to box clever and say goes, isn't it?
Yeah, I will, because I know that I haven't heard the last of this. He's very vexatious and he's a belligerent bloke. So.
You haven't got to tell me this because it's none of my business. But I'm just trying to try and help you out. Do you still owe him money?
No, I don't owe him a penny.
So in theory, his and yours pass within his professional business shouldn't cross again.
No, but he sent me solicitor's letter now for trespassing, even though I didn't enter his property. And the ironic thing was, right, I have a notice warning against trespassers on my property. He does not. He's got a wall and a gate which I didn't enter. I only walked to the post box, which is in a little courtyard outside. So the postman does it every day, right? He walked right across my grass. He didn't walk on my path. He walked across my grass to my front door to serve me the trespass notice. Right? Yeah. And then he followed it up then with another letter by post recorded. So that I'd say that's harassment as well.
But you know what? After what I would say, like from this point onwards, from last night, you dealt with from that point of view.
Yeah.
If you don't owe him any more money,
yeah,
you have no more reason to post letters, come to your house, etc.
Yeah.
Because it's all been dealt with.
Yeah.
And what I would say is, if you do get problems, document it. Even if it's on a scrap piece of paper, time, date, this has happened. Time, date, this has happened.
Yeah.
And then come back to the police. But looking at it from a logical point of view, he's now got no reason to speak to you, is he?
No, none at all.
So you shouldn't have any more grief of him.
No.
I don't know the bloke, and I don't know you either, but from an outsider looking in, there's no reason why you should have any more problems from him. But if you do, document it and let us know.
Right, lovely, thank you. Cheers.
Alright, all the best, mate. Good luck, and don't forget, now 10 o'clock tonight, the sergeant's on.
Yeah.
If you want to give her a ring.
What was her name again? What was her name again, sorry?
The sergeant's name?
Yeah.
Cass Doney. I don't know how you spell it, but Doney.
Cass, you said, yeah?
Yeah, Cass and Catherine.
Alright, okay, Doney.
And Doney. She works in Swansea Central, Chris.
Alright then, cheers.
Okay, mate.
Alright,
sorry,
thanks.
I can't help you anymore. Good luck with everything.
Alright, thanks. Ta-ra.
I'll give you the best. Ta-ra, mate.
Bye.
Ta-ra.
Why are you so nice to her?
I want to get as much information as I can from my camera. Hello. Sorry if I'm talking.
I know, that's just